Welcome back, everyone, to Jonesboro Open Round 2 coverage. This is brought to you by Prodigy Disc and Play It Again Sports. We are at the Disc Side of Heaven in Jonesboro, Arkansas. My name is Paige Pierce.
And I'm Missy Gannon.
Yeah, this course, if you haven't seen yet, is very windy and long and open, and we are looking to attack this big track.
Yeah, and this round started off a little windy, but definitely got considerably calmer as we moved on through the round. So I'm anticipating some good scores today. Looking at what we got going into the round, Paige Pierce at 10 down, Hailey King 4 down, Catrina Allen and Jessica Weese at 2 down. I anticipate a lot of birdies out here, but I'm sure the bogeys will come as well.
Yeah, we're still teeing off at 3 p.m. at the Disc Golf Pro Tour. As this is, we've been teeing off late every day, and it seems like today, the later it got, the calmer it got.
And so hole 1, 380 feet, par 3. You just have to throw something that's going to stay super straight. You don't want to get any movement to the left or right because there are definitely some trees and bushes to contend with. I think we had sort of like a taily crosswind, but we'll take a look here.
Out of Plano, Texas, Paige Pierce.
Thank you.
This is my Missy Gannon Undertaker. Got me a lot of birdies round 1. This one just came out a little bit early and on too much of a hyzer, so I'm going to be short left outside the circle.
Second to tee at 4 down.
We had some barbecue behind us cooking up some stuff. It was a little smoky, actually. It was kind of funny to have that kind of in our vision, but it smelled good.
Yeah, food trucks, a couple spectators in designated spectator areas. So you hear the clapping. It was very nice to hear as Hailey throws this Zeus inside the circle. Big shot.
That was a great shot.
Minnesota and shooting 2 down in the first round. We have Catrina.
You can see
Allen.
Paul Ulibarri in the corner there. He shot 12 under round 2.
Whoa.
Incredible round.
I expect Kat to go a similar route to what Hailey took, kind of that wider hyzer line.
Yeah, this is the same flight she went with round 1, but this time she's perfectly clean. Round 1, she tickled a couple of those branches. Makes a great correction there.
Valley, California, also shooting 2 down. We have Jessica Weese. Yeah, Jessica.
All right, and Jessica Weese rounding out the card.
Yeah, she likes to kind of go that more straight, slightly flexy line. Also a little bit early out of her hand, so she's right next to you in circle 2. Oh, that was deep. That must have been like 50, 55.
Yeah, it felt like a 50-footer. And just such a good way to start the round when you watch it go in the chains from that far away.
Yeah.
I was farthest away and hit the putt, so definitely feels good.
Such a good tool to have, to still be able to capitalize on the green in circle 2.
Just hoping to do the same, but with a severe hyzer putt. Doesn't get it quite wide enough. Now Hailey and Kat from 20 or inside.
Yeah, dead center. Great putt from Hailey.
Kat was above the basket, so she kind of putted it down, but just not quite high enough there.
right, 2 birdies, 2 pars. And we're on to hole 2, par 4, 605 feet. The traditional gap here is this hyzer line through this, over this branch, and you're just looking for something to hold super straight and get this nice hyzer finish to this area right here to leave yourself with less than 250 to the pin. It does go back uphill with a bit of a low ceiling, so just setting yourself up on that first shot and getting as far down the fairway will definitely help.
This is my Zeus going high-speed driver, trying to get as far up there as possible. Pull it a tiny bit wide and it tickles some branches, but still gets the flight I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're past that 250 stake, so you're set up nicely. Hailey going just a bit lower, perfectly down the middle of that gap. Also skipping up past the 250 mark.
Yeah, and this shot's really mostly about the upshot. All of us are going to land in similar positions if we hit that initial gap.
Mm-hmm.
But the second shot is blind because it's uphill and the basket is just out of view with some low-hanging branches.
Cat goes a little bit more inside, but luckily it does stay right enough and not in that bush on the left.
Nice flip up to flat with Jessica's turn, the champion turn.
Okay. Yeah, sort of splitting the difference between you and Hailey.
So Hailey will be up first, and she's going with my Tour Series Buzz.
Nice, perfect. It's always nice to get up there and see that you're pretty much parked, because you never really know.
Kat also underneath it with her A2.
Dealing with an uphill run up here. Sometimes could do weird things with your release, but Jessica does just fine. Also putting herself right under the basket.
And this is my Big Z Fierce. And it's funny that you said that because totally when I was running up, it kind of, that uphill run up kind of made me pull it to the right a little bit wider than I wanted.
But you're inside the circle. And can it to go back-to-back birdie.
Yeah, my card mates are all within 10 feet, so this is a huge star birdie frame. On definitely a difficult par 4.
All right, hole 3, par 3, 310 feet. Does play uphill. Up to the top of this hill is where you need to get. You don't want to hyzer out too much to the left because there is OB. And if you don't find yourself OB, you will be contending with some low-hanging branches. So I think we're going to see some big power hyzer shots or maybe even some straighter lines to this basket.
Yeah, with no wind, I'm trying to aim just right of the basket on a hyzer. Oof. And just a little bit short, so I get that left skip towards those branches that Missy's talking about. So I'm going to have a similar putt to what I did on round 1. Hailey going with the vulture here.
Asking for it to get down because she knows that those branches and OB could come into play, but she is inbounds.
Catrina likes playing this one pretty wide. She almost aced it in round 1.
Super wide, definitely overstable. Skips right up into the basket, basically in the bullseye.
Jessica also opting for that wide play, letting it skip into the green. She doesn't get as big of a skip as she's looking for, but she's still inside the circle, looking at about a 25-footer.
So Hailey's just inside circle 1. Just a little bit right, but that was perfect height.
From about 25 feet.
From a knee. 3 for 3. Similar start to yesterday.
Yeah. Even that same knee putt
Yep.
right there and everything, yeah. Jessica from a similar distance.
Ooh, yeah.
Makes it work with almost no change.
Yeah.
Hailey cleans up the par, and Kat will tap in her birdie. So close she can do it with her driver
Yeah, so
and her bag on.
Yeah. Everyone's got a couple of birdies in their pocket. I knew that was going to happen. You know, Paige Pierce, 3 through 3, keeping that lead strong. Hailey, Kat, Jess, all with 2 birdies through the first 3.
Kat Merch from Chase Card, 3 under. Looking to make a move.
And hole 4, another par 4, 630 feet. The biggest obstacle off the tee is to throw a power driver shot that can still get the glide underneath that really low hanging branch. And you really just want to set yourself up right around this 250 marker because the second shot could get tricky with OB really tight behind the basket and to the left of the basket. So you just don't want to go OB on this hole, and hopefully a little less wind will help.
Going with Buzz here. Trying to keep it more controlled, but it doesn't get as much hyzer finish as I'm looking for, so I'm going to be actually under those branches and looking to try to find a gap out of there. All right, Catrina with a X1.
Fights through that branch. You don't see that all too often. You know, sometimes they fight through, but sometimes they just kick straight down.
This looks so good,
Yeah.
but just barely too high. She gets a roll right into the center of that tree there, so she's going to have an obstructed footing.
Also a bit too high. Yeah, catches one of those limbs and drops straight down.
So she's really far back. She's over 400 feet away. So she can send a full rip down there with her Zeus on a flex line.
Great shot.
Yeah, she'll be like just on the crest of that hill. Pretty far out still, but should be an easy par.
Jess is forced to go sidearm roller here. And it's down past the giant guardian tree and into the short grass in the center of the fairway. So she's short of the basket, but that's about as good as she could have done from there.
Cat about 300, 320 away. Nice power shot. She'll be inside the circle, just a little bit down the hill from the basket.
I do have this one gap right here. I just need to throw it on the Anheuser. Little bit of a late release, but it had a lot of speed on it, so it fought through.
Yeah.
I am inside circle 2.
Okay. Just going Sonic here, trying to float one up there.
Yeah, she was eyeing that up for a while with her AVR X3 and the Sonic.
She'll have an easy tap in for par. Hailey also pitching up to get her par. You're running it. There is OB behind, but looks like it was just soft enough to check up.
Now I have this 25-footer to save par.
There you go.
Thank you.
And Cat with the solo birdie putt.
Yeah.
All right. Great birdie there, moving her up to 5 under par.
Thank you.
Got a few pars on this scorecard. Hole 5, 345 feet, par 3, plays downhill the entire way. Sort of split into like an island green in a way, but you can lay up short before the OB that wraps all the way from the right side all the way to the front. I think this is well within many of our ranges. It's just a matter of how aggressive you want to get.
Catrina eyeing it up with her H3. Definitely going for this one. Gets a little bit of turn.
Needing some fade. Yeah.
Oh, and it skips from out of bounds to inbounds. This is my Tour Series buzz. Trying to hammer it straight and let it fade on its own.
Oof.
Oh, I
That
knew
was
it was
close. Just looking like she's eyeing up more of a flex line. Really get as much distance as she can.
I like that too. It kind of makes the shape of the hole a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
So Kat and I definitely, with corrections from yesterday, if you guys saw round 1, we both threw out of bounds.
Hailey also riding that hyzer line. Perfect little skip up just to the base of the pin.
Pins it.
Mm-hmm.
Catrina at about 30 feet.
Ooh, just a bit too much hyzer. Fades out a little left off the rim.
The rest of us within 15.
Or the birdie.
Jess and Hailey are just absolutely parked. These are great shots on an island hole, 345 feet. This is some solid golf so far from the lead card.
Yeah. We're moving on to hole 6, a true island hole. You do not have the option to lay up short. You must try to go for this island, otherwise you will be proceeding to a drop zone if you do not make it inbounds. The island isn't very much bigger than circle 1. We had a little bit of a tailwind again on this hole, so just throw your straightest flying disc. There's really honestly a bunch of different ways you can attack this. You can attack it forehand, straight at it, slight hyzer, whatever you're most comfortable with.
Yeah, and by the time we got to this hole, there was no wind, so I actually clubbed down to my fierce And I just tried a little too hard, and I'm going to find myself out of bounds. And you do have to proceed to the drop zone, like Missy said, so we are throwing, I don't know, maybe like 175 feet from there.
Mhm.
Jess with a sweet sidearm hyzer right into the green.
Perfect.
2 park jobs in a row. Hailey going onyx sidearm.
Yeah. Fading out. A little weird anti-skip, but she's inside the circle. Oh yeah, Kat knew right out of her hand. She just pulled it a little bit too far right. Never really got a chance.
So 2 of us will be headed to the drop zone, knowing we're likely to lose 2 strokes to both Hailey and Jessica.
Mhm.
Kat opts for the forehand as I throw backhand. And we're both inside 10 feet.
Hailey with a great putt to capitalize on that birdie. I think we all joke that you're either getting a 2 or a 4 on this hole.
Yeah, there's no way to 3 it, really. I mean, it takes such a good shot to make it from the drop zone. So Hailey will pick up 2 strokes and shrink the lead, and also jump quite a few strokes ahead of Catrina now with Catrina's bogey as well.
Yeah, and Jess will move to 6 under with this birdie.
All right, so leaderboard update. I'm at 13 under par, Hailey at 8 under, Jessica at 6 under, and Catrina at 4 under. And the chase card, 2 of them at 1 under, and then the rest are over par. So these girls are looking to get some more birdies coming up soon. The back 9 does play a little bit harder, but like we were saying, it is getting calmer.
Yeah, definitely. And hole 7, 545 feet, par 4, definitely a gettable birdie. You can throw this like inside hyzer line to set yourself up for a more open approach to this sort of pinched green here with these guardian trees. This gap that we're flying through right now is definitely the biggest gap to attack this green on your second shot. You can also hang a big wide hyzer to the right of that initial tree that we saw. It just depends on what you feel most comfortable with.
Just going with that turn again. This time on a pretty purely hyzered release. Just going to be pin high with that tree. Just left of it.
Hailey, I know, yeah, does go this wide hyzer route. She's not looking for that much movement to the right. You definitely want to kind of hang it more inside, but she'll be down the hill with a more severe angle hyzer with a forehand from there.
Yeah, I like that play if you're confident with a spike hyzer sidearm.
Mm-hmm.
There's less things to worry about on that right side.
Yeah.
For me, I'm trying to get on that left side, but it's just such a weird angle, and I find myself hitting the tree and kicking a little bit left of it.
Catrina also opting for that more inside hyzer line, trying to get a little bit left, and I think she's past that tree on the left.
Mm-hmm. Jess up first. She's known for her sidearm. Should have no problem getting in this green.
Yeah, kind of cuts it in a little early, but she is on the green, relatively wide open.
So I'm way farther back than I intended, but I still have an open look at it.
Oh, nice.
And kind of same shot as Jess, just a little bit inside on that. And I'm going to have an obstructed putt from the other side of the cattle guard.
Oh, yeah, Kat was perfectly set up there, just a little low out of her hand.
Hailey with a Crystal Raptor here. She said she doesn't mind being that far over because she has such an overstable fairway.
Mm-hmm.
She knows it's going to skip in there.
Cat forced to lay up from there.
This is from about 3 feet outside the circle. I took my 12 inches behind my lie as well because that post was right in the way.
Oh!
And I had to float it up and in. That was such a fun one to hit.
Yeah, you don't
was
see
a
very
floater,
yeah,
Annie.
you don't see very many people able to navigate that area because you see a lot of people end up there. Great capitalization.
Thank you.
Jess,
All right.
yeah, continuing that birdie streak here.
Yeah, that's 3 in a row from Jess.
Mm-hmm. Hailey also looking to do the same. Very nice.
3 in a row from both of them.
Mm-hmm. Three birdies, 1 par. Moving into hole 8, 324 feet, par 3, sort of blind green, and it definitely sets up for a great power forehand shot that needs to work to the right. Backhand can definitely get there as well, but you're going to have to commit to that wide left Anheuser angle to get the carry all the way to the right. We'll see kind of what we're going to get from these ladies. Probably easy to say that Jess was going to go with the forehand here. Has a good powerful forehand.
She goes really wide. She said she would way rather be on the left side than the right side.
Mm-hmm.
And she puts herself inside the circle.
Hailey also going forehand, kind of cutting it more inside. She knew that was just a little bit early out of her hand. This is just kind of the one error you don't want to make, is going into those bushy trees. You just don't know what you're going to get from there.
So I'm opting for the backhand here. Trying to keep it nice and wide. But and I liked how wide I took it, but a little bit too much turn. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be right near Hailey in that jungle over there.
You can see Cat aiming way to the left. Getting it high up in the air. Does it have enough distance, though?
Yeah, it kind of sneaks through those branches. She's a little bit closer than Hailey and I are, but she's still obstructed in the woods.
Okay, I'll work with that.
All right, you're out. I mean,
Yeah, you're
lots of little baby gaps to try to go for. Hailey's just a little bit farther up, can kind of aim for that bigger gap, just not quite enough turn on that forehand.
She had a decent looking look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Kat finds her way out. She will be able to tap in her par. Hailey and I still have some work to do. Especially Hailey. Look at this putt. Oh, hard to commit to getting that one high enough.
Just trying to hit the gap.
This is as far stretched as I can. Those branches are in my way. Having to go Anheuser. Just a tiny bit low. Jessica now for the only birdie look, and this is for 4 in a row. Oh, a tiny bit left on that one.
Couple of bogeys from Paige and Hailey. Kat and Jess will clean up their pars. Honestly, like, what a relief it was to just kind of show up and not really have to deal with too much wind.
Yeah.
Compared to the first day, it just was so windy. So that was definitely a nice surprise. Hole 9, 715 feet, par 5, a huge snaking fairway. You just want to throw a big power shot through that initial gap, which is pretty tight. You just need to make sure you get clean out of the gap and get as far as you can. And then, it just depends if you're Paige, you're playing for the eagle. No, but I mean, it's one of those holes that requires, 2 very well executed shots, and on a very slippery, sloped green, you just really never know what's going to happen.
Say that's a pretty good use-in score.
Yeah, Jess with her turn gets one way down there, hits the gap with a great angle, and she's going to be in the little bowl about 330 feet away from the basket.
Yeah, and that's another thing here. With all these rolling hills, you're going to have some strange footing, uphill, downhill. So that could definitely come into play as well.
Catrina, she didn't want that one to hyzer as much. She's going to be in the short grass, which is always a plus, but she's going to have a severe hyzer angle from there.
Hailey flexing one a bit. It is heading towards that right tree. She might have those branches to contend with on her next shot.
This is my Zeus. Hyzer flip. Trying to get as much distance as possible.
Kind of just right of where Jess is, kind of just short of the 250 stake. Cat going, big spike hyzer, just trying to get around that last bunch of trees and puts it way up there. She will be looking down the hill at this sloped green.
Yeah, that was a huge shot. I mean, that's closer than she got yesterday from a better lie. She really ripped that one.
Jess, I think, was looking to get that full flex and try to get to the pin. Just sort of Annie's out a little bit too early. She's at the top of the hill.
So Hailey opts for a zone here. I was very intrigued by this. She definitely has a lot of power, but it's far away still.
Yeah.
And she finds herself, I mean, that was a great angle, great power, everything, but just comes up a little bit short of circle 2.
Yeah, I know she was mentioning to me that, the depth perception on big, wide open courses is really hard to manage too sometimes.
So I'm looking for that sneaky shot to get through again, but it doesn't this time. It is going to be inside circle 2, but pretty obstructed from there.
Just wide open to the pin, quite a bit of distance, just floats her Sonic up there. She's waiting to try to throw that one in one day.
And Hailey just lays up. Doesn't want any part of that one.
That is the circle 2 flag there, so Cat is just outside. Also opts to just lay up and get her birdie.
Yeah, and that branch was definitely in my way, so decided to lay up as well. We will all be tapping in our birdie 4s.
Very nice. What a cool way to end the front 9 here. Lots of birdies have been coming in for this card. Really playing solid golf.
Yeah, everyone's headed farther under par. I'm sitting at 14 under currently. Hailey King 9 under, Jessica Weese 8 under, and Catrina Allen 5 under. And the chase card, we still have some people 1 under par. Emily moved up to even par, and Missy is at 2 under for the round. She's at 2 over total. So if you guys want to check out how this round concludes, make sure you subscribe and tune in. We will see you soon.